Good evening. We're starting with some breaking news. The southbound lanes of the 101 are closed right now in Chandler after a really bad crash. These are live pictures from an ADOT camera near Chandler Boulevard, where you can still see those flashing lights of a police presence and maybe some rescue vehicles. DPS tells us multiple vehicles have been involved and that there are serious injuries. Video from Sky 12 shows at least 3 cars with extensive damage. We're still trying to learn what caused the crash, but definitely avoid that area tonight. DPS says the highway will be closed until further notice in the southbound lanes.
Tonight, new footage is showing the moments just before a plane crashed into a home in North Phoenix early this morning. Thanks for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kadiba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. We know that 5 people are out of their homes tonight and receiving help thanks to the Red Cross. But pieces of that plane are still stuck in the roof of one home and in the backyard of another. 12
News journalist Tiani Jadaling is joining us live from Phoenix, and she's been speaking to neighbors. And what did they have to say? This had to be a huge shock to them.
Mark Caribe, I think everybody in this neighborhood is still trying to process what transpired earlier this morning. One neighbor we spoke to telling us that he didn't hear the plane physically crash into the home, but it was the noise from local law enforcement, police officers, ambulance, and fire trucks that alerted him and made him come outside to figure out what was going on. And tonight he's sharing with us his security camera footage showing minute by minute what happened this morning.
We can't make it back to the field.
That's one of the last moments Deer Valley Air Traffic Control heard from Cherokee 44 Tango, the Piper PA-28 plane that crashed into a North Phoenix home, leaving 2 homes damaged Wednesday evening. This is the aftermath, but it's this security footage that captures it all. The footage showing the exact moment the plane hit the home. That video belongs to Joel Tumalak. He lives a couple houses down from the scene. And it wasn't noise that made him step outside this morning, but rather the presence from local law enforcement.
There's police cars, ambulance, fire trucks. I thought it was just, nothing or something. And then I decided to step out, and that's when I learned that there was a plane that just crashed 3 houses from my blocks.
It was after finding out about the crash that Tumulak decided to check one of his several security cameras and saw moment by moment what took place. Something he says he's never seen in his neighborhood, despite living so close to the Phoenix Deer Valley Airport.
It's my first time. I heard some news before that was 2 miles away from here. It happens on Deer Valley Airport, but I've been here for the last 15 years, and it's the first time that it happened close by to my neighborhood.
According to the Phoenix Fire Department, it was an instructor and a student on board the plane. And as you heard in the air traffic control message, they were trying to safely land the plane. At this time, we know the 2 individuals in the plane were taken to the hospital and in stable condition. Phoenix PD saying their injuries were considered non-life-threatening. As for those inside the home, one struck by the plane was also hospitalized and is in stable conditions. And neighbors like Joel wish them well.
Hopefully everything's okay. I heard that one house, their roofing got, scraped off by the plane, but, I hope everyone is okay.
Now, we know the Phoenix Fire Department is cooperating with the FAA in this investigation. NTSB is also investigating. Back here at the scene, what we know right now, we see 1 police officer here guarding just 1 patrol car in front of the 2 houses. Police tape is up. You still see the wing of the plane on top of the second house farther to my right. We were told just about a couple hours ago that there was supposed to be a crane coming to clean up maybe the rest of the what was left here, the plane, what is been left here at this moment, but at this hour no crane has been here or shown any presence here. Just 1 police officer, again, several firefighters examining, maybe assessing how to help out the crane to clean up the rest of the scene, but at this hour this is what we're left with. Of course, as new details come up, we will keep you updated with those. Live in Phoenix, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
Yeah, and a long repair process for those homeowners. All right, Tiani, thank you so much. We are now 5 days into the war with Iran, and top White House officials say to expect a bigger wave of military strikes in the coming days.
Today, the Department of Defense shared this video showing a U.S. sub sinking an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. According to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the ship was in international waters. He added that more and larger waves of strikes are coming, saying we are just getting started. This comes as the Republican-led Senate today rejected a war powers resolution that would have restricted President Trump's ability to carry out further military action against Iran. Before the vote, Democrats on the Senate floor pointed out that the Constitution only grants Congress the authority to declare war. But Republicans argued that President Trump needs wide-ranging powers to effectively keep Americans safe.
Tonight, a Valley Church group is back home safe after visiting Israel as the war with Iran broke out.
12 News journalist Chase Golightly spoke with some of them as they arrived back at Sky Harbor just a couple of hours ago. And Chase, I'm sure Sky Harbor never looked so good.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what they said, Mark and Karebe, especially since they've been traveling for the past 22 hours to get back to Phoenix, sharing these videos of missiles exploding right above them.
Explosions going off in the air, and you could see the contrails with the Iron Dome. It was pretty freaky.
Pastors Patrick Marks and Stephen Long with Calvary Chapel 14-6 in Surprise are now back home.
We've had 2 hours sleep in 2 days, so it's been quite the adventure.
They, along with 22 others with their church, started their trip in Israel on February 25th. Then a few days later,
We were at the Galilee, and all of a sudden we got the message, like it started flashing. People were like, oh, Trump just spoke. Because remember, it was the middle of the night here while it was the daytime there. And so we were watching going, well, what does this mean? And within an hour or two, sirens started going off.
Sirens going off.
along with those sirens.
Lots of big booms.
The explosions going off, and some of them were so strong that it rattled the windows in the hotel where we were.
Saying this would go on every couple of hours, day and night. Each time they would all be put in a bunker.
Basically, you're sheltering in place until you get the all clear.
Not knowing how long this would last.
The Jewish people were good to us, taking care of us. Nobody panicked. Our faith was strong.
Then they were told they needed to evacuate.
Everybody put their trust in the Lord and just put their heads down and kept moving forward.
Traveling from Israel to Egypt, having to go on foot and by bus, the explosions continued.
And one hit, it couldn't have been, 100 yards from us?
Yeah, not that far. Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, everybody ducked and it shook everything.
Finally making it to the Great Pyramids, and now everyone is back in Arizona.
Everybody's here, everybody made it.
Ready to get some much-needed sleep while still thinking of those overseas.
Pray for Iran, pray for Israel, pray for our troops. Nobody likes war. Nobody wants anybody to get hurt.
There's a whole lot of other Americans, and we're praying for them. I mean, we're very fortunate. We're here. We finally got home, so we're excited about that.
The pastors tell me they do plan on making this a yearly trip, telling me war or no war, they will be back next year. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. A woman is in custody tonight after the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office says she had 9 dogs living in horrible conditions in an RV west of Buckeye. Today, deputies arrested Gina Steffes and released this video of her being booked into jail. Investigators say she failed to provide the dogs with adequate food, water, and shelter. She's also accused of abandoning the dogs when it became clear that she was under investigation. Steffes will now face charges of animal cruelty.
Tempe police have arrested a man that they say cut a hole through the roof of a business to steal from an ATM. This happened in October of 2024. Police say that 36-year-old Diego Cornejo stole more than $155,000 and caused over $60,000 in damages. Police say that Cornejo may be connected to similar burglaries in Paradise Valley, California, and Washington. Cornejo is from Chile, and Tempe police believe that he's part of a South American theft group known for organized crime.
New at 10, 8 people have been arrested after police say they stole a shipment of expensive sports shoes off of a train in Navajo County. Investigators got a tip that the train may be targeted when it stopped Monday just outside of Joseph City. Deputies responded and saw multiple people actively stealing from a boxcar. The items were then loaded into a U-Haul, and after a short chase, the suspects ran off but were later found nearby and arrested. They're all now in federal custody. Now to the state capitol, where Arizona lawmakers are putting the ball in your court.
The Republican-led legislature is looking for ways to avoid the veto stamp of Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs. And this November, you could be asked to vote on bringing back firing squads for prisoners on death row and giving yourself the right to refuse vaccine mandates.
12 News journalist Bram Resnick has more on 3 ballot referrals to watch.
Katie Hobbs' veto stamp is getting a workout. The Democratic governor has rejected more than 390 Republican-backed bills in 3 years, a record. So rather than seeking Hobbs' approval, Republican lawmakers are turning to you. Here are just 3 of the more than 40 questions that lawmakers could send to your November ballot. Should you give death row inmates the option of execution by firing squad? Just 5 states allow it.
Recent evidence shows firing squad executions are not immune from serious failures or prolonged suffering.
Should you block government-imposed medical mandates, like COVID vaccinations? This referral would establish a fundamental right in Arizona's Constitution for individuals to refuse medical mandates.
It's the opportunity for the people of Arizona to determine for themselves whether they want the state to tell them what to do with their bodies or whether they would like to make that decision themselves.
Critics question whether Republican Representative Nick Cupper's proposal would leave children unprotected during the current measles outbreak. And should you criminalize excessive marijuana smoke in your neighborhood?
What you do in your private property is your business, but the moment there's such a strong odor or smoke that's affecting your neighbors and down the street, then it's no longer just your business.
Marijuana advocates warn that Republican Senator J.D. Mesnard's proposal would create, quote, vague policy. Bram Resnick, 12 News.